live.
Welcome back to another week of your favorite crypto podcast,
Sometimes crypto.
the Unscripted Crypto Podcast. Ayo.
Yep. This is another episode, another week of your boys getting back to you with the information.
Negative.
Negative. The information and entertainment.
Information sometimes.
Crypto related.
Information sometimes.
Definitely, you know what it's not? It's definitely not investment advice. It's definitely not investment advice.
A lot of things except that.
Yeah.
It could be a lot of things. Do whatever you want.
Just not.
I ain't telling you what to do.
Not what to do. Today, we wanted to talk about the legalities behind crypto, the legals. But in all fairness, we're also not lawyers, so
We should get a lawyer on
So
to talk about this.
we should get a lawyer to talk
On the list.
on the list.
On the list of interviews that we must have,
Okay,
of conversations
perfect.
that need to be had.
Every time we say this, I literally add it to. I have like a mental list, like just boom.
Really? We should make a physical list.
Make a physical list.
We should make a physical list.
Yeah,
That's funny.
I have someone in mind actually.
Boom.
Boom. That's it.
I like work. So it's not really a deep dive into regulations, more so our thoughts
Yeah.
of regulations, if anything,
Yeah.
and like where we are now, where it might go, where we would hope it would go.
Yeah. Regulations are lacking in the majority of the world. There are places who are
But-
more regulated than others.
But the real Web3 community doesn't want regulations, though.
So
They want the wild, wild west.
I don't know if that's necessarily true. I believe people do want regulations if it helps
Adaptation?
onboarding of the technology into everyday ecosystems. However, what the real Web3 community doesn't want is bad regulation. They're cool with regulation. At least I know for the most part I'm cool with regulation. I just don't want bad regulation. Especially here in America, I wouldn't want regulations that would hurt the American.
We want the right amount of regulation.
Yes. Something that would help people feel safe and comfortable and protected to like get into the space, but then also nothing too crazy where anyone who's trying to develop and build on the space and actually create tools and use cases wouldn't be offset and like be like there's too much risk associated with that, or like just not be able to do it outright.
Yeah.
So there is like a healthy medium that we're trying to reach.
I also think like at this point in time is like lack of clarity.
The lack of clarity is really bad.
Doesn't help either, like, because every time they go, they tell like for it's either security or not, if it has an ICO, what makes it security, what doesn't. Like there are things that are definitely securities that should be governed as securities, but maybe the cost for what they're trying to do for that specific project is like absorbent compared to like something used like in a larger scale. Like it shouldn't be like everything is the same, weighted the same.
Yeah, so like essentially, from what I've seen, there are like a lot of like financial costs associated to getting a security regulated and like fully like compliant.
Yeah,
but with the crypto space, there are things that we could do on the tech, like easy to deploy within the tech and not super expensive, but and probably like the amount of revenue that generate as a security on the crypto space would not be sufficient enough
to cover the costs.
The legalities behind registering it as a security, making it compliant.
Exactly, like it's just absurd. Like it definitely regulations, but make it level equal pairs, right? If I'm trying to, for example, if it's for a small business trying to do X, it should be charged at X. It shouldn't be held up to a standard of like multi-million-dollar industries.
Mm-hmm.
That's another
firms, like specifically companies that have hella funds attached to them.
Yeah, that too, because they're able to do it.
Mm-hmm. They have money to do it,
to pay the lawyers and stuff, versus smaller entities can't.
Mm-hmm.
And then getting the fundings just to even start it is hard.
Yeah, I think I remember hearing a conversation someone had with I think like it might have been Bankless, talking about like Paris Hilton, if she wanted to create like her own like NFT or like ICO type thing, that maybe she like, I said Paris Hilton, but I mean like just anyone they won't have the funds to do something like that.
We're talking about Katy Perry, right?
Katy Perry, maybe.
They gave an example of Katy Perry. If Katy Perry offers a NFT token
That gives access to like concerts.
to give access to, example, concerts, that shouldn't be regulated at $100 million asset. That's not doing that. That's actually transfer of funds or adding a higher utility.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't Bankless.
That wasn't Bankless?
That was a PPD podcast.
That was PPD?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was with Michael Saylor.
With Michael Saylor.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I remember hearing it somewhere. I don't remember.
I'm going to need to take a quick break. This chair squeaks and it's annoying me.
Okay. Oh, BRB.
We'll BRB. This
We're
guy.
back.
Now we're back. Chairs are switched. We're good to go. No more squeaks.
No more squeaks.
If you heard squeaks, I apologize. It should be better now.
Yeah. But yeah, it was definitely the Michael Saylor episode on PPD.
Which I highly recommend that podcast. Really good.
Really?
They go into regulations and everything and like levels and all that jazz.
Jazz.
What? Fun stuff, man.
That was funny. I wasn't expecting to say jazz. I don't know. It got me off guard. It got me off guard. That's funny.
Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, definitions of like the crypto space and like how things are, like assets are just defined are just not up to par anymore.
And also like the assets they choose to go after versus assets that they don't choose to go after.
You mean like the SEC or like government bodies?
So like for example, the SEC, the SEC is currently in a lawsuit with Ripple, as we all know, right? Which I haven't followed up on that lawsuit. Definitely want to. So they're going after Ripple because of what they offer an ICO, because they're considered securities, because of what they're trying to do. Why aren't other cryptocurrencies that have broken the exact same rules Ripple have not been filed to lawsuit? Which would be a couple at this point.
Well, the Ripple had like a huge ICO. It was $1.3 billion of its native.
I'm not saying it's not.
So it's maybe the SEC doesn't want to waste its time with the other ones.
Yeah, correct. But if you look at Ripple in specific, they're also, you're right, they did maybe have a large ICO, but they also had an escrow account where people just couldn't pull funds from. It had to be an X time period. So that's another thing that other projects may not have, that it doesn't help in those cases. So if they want to move funds, it would be easier to move funds without an escrow account or an escrow wallet style versus other ICOs that didn't have that.
Yeah. So Ripple probably did do it better than the other ones. Like more like legit.
They're going after a number. I'm saying you're also punishing a company that maybe did it the best way possible. The best
of their ability, because there is no regulation.
Exactly.
And you're punishing them.
There is regulations. There's no clarity on what goes where.
I see.
Because like we have Bitcoin identified as a commodity. The only reason that happened is because it was sufficiently decentralized so where no one entity can push the price of Bitcoin.
I mean, you can't sell. Yeah, you can't sue anyone for.
Well, not just sue. One person doesn't have the power to make the value of it go up. So like the argument for ETH that it is a security is that Vitalik, or maybe not even Vitalik, just Ether's group, the lab that's working on it, is making it better, has so much control over it. Like right now, there's X amount of ETH locked up that they did. No one knows when that will be handed back to you, right? Could be 3 years, could be 4 years, could be 2 months. That's up to the ETH development team to decide on. Yeah. So it's like, okay, you have that much control over an asset.
Yeah, you pretty much control its liquidity supply at
that degree, exactly.
To that degree, on that front.
Exactly. So that's a security. That's defined as a security because this one group has so much of influence over the entire asset.
Versus in Bitcoin, where it's only your, like, you could have your own funds, but that's your funds. It's
not financial advice. This is being quoted exactly like this. If I tell you right now, go buy Bitcoin, and I could share it on this podcast, go buy Bitcoin, not financial advice, doesn't have an influence. The price of Bitcoin will only go up so much. I don't have enough pull, or not one person has enough pull to do that. Also, not financial advice. Anyone clips out of context, we'll fight.
We'll fight.
I don't know what else to say. Would you fight? Actually, I don't want to fight you because you might know how to fight. Just don't do that. I ain't trying to get my ass whooped now. Now I think about it.
No, I think about it. Yeah. I mean,
but you know what I mean.
Yeah. I mean, there are people of influence who can pull the price of
Yes.
assets, but that's just
But it's
because
not their asset.
but that's just it's not their asset. Correct. It's just because they're influential people. Like what happened with Elon when he started.
Talking about like
Pumping,
Tesla stock
yeah.
price, like he
Yeah.
goes because that went under scrutiny.
He got in trouble.
He got in trouble with the SEC,
He
with the SEC.
wasn't allowed to tweet anymore.
No, before that, the reason before he got there, he posted the 420, like he wants Tesla to go to 420 or be at 420, one of those, and that messed with the price.
I see. Yeah.
And that came up in I think maybe one of the hearings to like, you can't be doing this.
I mean, he also said at one point, he's like, "Oh, Tesla's stock price is way overvalued right now."
Yeah.
Like, how do you say that? Like, that's wild.
You should be saying the opposite, if anything. You want to be like, no, it's not. It's undervalued, if anything, is what he would be saying.
It's crazy. I just don't know why he said that.
But you see, he said that, but that drives the price downward.
Yeah, that drove the price downward.
He owns the majority. Why? I'm saying.
That's that is the part that confuses me. Why would he do something like that?
I'm saying, why would he get in trouble for it? If he wouldn't want the price to go up, he wants the price to keep on going.
It looks like you're
What?
altering the market.
I'm not disagreeing with that statement. I'm saying if his net goes,
He doesn't benefit.
He has
from
very
that.
little gain.
He doesn't gain. But
Unless he's trying to buy.
But maybe unless he is trying to buy.
Unless he's trying to buy.
Unless he's
You know
trying to
what?
buy.
That might be a smart move. He's like, the price goes down a bit, I re-up. Hey, it's undervalued now.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like, oh, Tesla just bought up a bunch at 300 for
On this Tesla tangent, as we're talking about ICOs and everything else, Elon just sold like another $3 billion worth of Tesla.
Of Tesla?
Yes.
That's crazy.
Not $3 billion, not worth of dollar value.
Yeah. Yeah, nah.
He sold like, I don't remember the
how
amount
many
of shares.
shares?
I think it was like 20.
A bunch of shares.
I'm not gonna say a number because I don't know the number.
Mhm.
A stupid amount of shares.
Mm-hmm.
He sold off.
Was he paying taxes?
Bruh. I think it's that rate hike that's hurting him right now.
Yeah.
That 50 basis point that just happened last week,
Uh-huh.
it turned. They tickling,
Yeah. He's like,
which
yeah.
makes sense. A lot of his loans are probably on margins. A lot of his loans are probably on AR, like that they're variable rates.
Mhm.
So because he's been very like, do not raise rates.
Yeah, he
anymore.
doesn't want rates. He's just
Which I see off runs.
What do you mean off runs?
I see off fronts, like people who want to raise rates, people who
Oh,
don't want
all
to raise
fronts.
rates.
Okay.
Yeah,
Like there's like you see both sides of the coin.
everyone's
People's-
side.
Yeah.
I would appreciate they stop raising rates, because
Yeah. I don't want rates to go up, but like if they gotta go up, they gotta go up.
if it would actually solve the problem,
Uh-huh.
it would be okay.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's gonna solve the problem or not.
Jay Powell's trying to get that inflation down to 2%.
Yo, Jay Powell's the strongest. It has the most
He's the most
power
influential man of the year.
of the year of the world.
The world.
He's dude.
This guy's
he controls money.
Yeah, he controls the US dollar.
Absurd. Yeah, he's wild. But yeah, so that's another thing. They don't, for regulations, they don't know where everything falls under. Who should be controlling what, or who should be governing what.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Like in between, like agencies.
yeah. That's tough because some people want, like some of those agencies want oversight on crypto, and then other ones are like, no, that's not yours, that's mine. That's my jurisdiction.
Which
Crazy.
we'll see.
I mean, earlier this year, I think this is the most has been done. President Biden signed off an executive order to pretty much tells the government, the rest of the government, like, okay, you need to look into crypto, identify its risks, its potential benefits within your department. Like what can Web3 and digital assets? Yeah. So the executive order is called is the executive order on ensuring responsible development of digital assets. And essentially, the goal is to address the risks and to harness the potential benefits of Web3.
That makes sense.
Has anything been done? No.
Apart from now, exchanges having to directly tell the IRS.
Exchanges have to tell
The IRS, the funds that are being moved.
Oh, the funds are being moved?
Yes.
From within accounts?
Yeah. If you're selling, like, if you make profits, how much was it? Like, all that's being directly reported to the IRS now on centralized exchanges. That's the biggest change that's happened. which you already kind of had to file taxes on it anyways.
Mhm.
So like,
What changed? Nothing.
if you weren't doing,
they just made it the exchange's responsibility. I think before the exchange just had to give you the form.
yeah,
Now they have to just turn it in also.
Yeah, now they're like, here you go. That'll be starting next year. Which again, it doesn't matter if you move off to a wallet, play around with it on a wallet, move it to a DEX, and then you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, on Dex.
I'm not telling you what to do.
I'm not telling you what to do.
Hypothetically.
It's not also illegal to do that.
Exactly.
But yeah, given the fact that there are over 18,000 cryptocurrencies, over 400 exchanges, there is plenty of interested parties in legal framework regulation so that they could keep on doing business, so they could like know what's going on, not step on anyone's toes, and stay compliant. Because ultimately, they want to be operational. The issue with this though is that Web3 and like all this crypto stuff challenges current implementations of regulations significantly.
I think you just have two worlds.
Two worlds.
You have a centralized government style ran by the government. Yo, this man just went to grab a cup of water and the cup is empty and he looks so disappointed.
I was like, okay.
If there was a video for this would have been hilarious to catch. He looks at it and he goes, fuck.
Put it back down.
He put it back down so sad, like a lost puppy. I can't. I have a little bit of water.
Oh, I was looking for
this cup. This cup has water.
This is the cup I was looking for.
Well, we'll get you water, Jamie. Jameson. We don't have one of those.
We need it. We need a Jameson.
But yeah, I think there'll be a centralized RAN party where you'll have to play ball at, and then you'll be able to go to fully decentralized, go on DEXs, get paid through that, go get paid directly to your wallet. That's probably how it's gonna work.
Yeah.
I think the harder part will be like getting it centralized, like when you want to move it off, and you want to get physical. Unless you don't want to get physical.
Here's the thing. Regulation is important for onboarding. Once you're onboarded, it's
Wild Wild West again.
It's the Wild Wild West. It's just there's more. There's like the world really opens up once you create your first wallet and start receiving some crypto in there. The world really opens up in what you can do with your funds and how you can move money and assets around. Like the one thing is like crypto really allows for inter-border exchanges.
Yeah.
Like it's a global thing. It's not confined by time or space and like where or how you can send it.
Yeah.
Send it to anyone, anywhere in the world at moment's notice.
You want to know anything?
Which is something that doesn't happen in traditional finance.
If anything, you know how FTX got caught for wire fraud and look how long it took?
It's because they were
they were using fiat. If this was on an exchanges or not even exchanges, with wallets.
If this was done on the blockchain,
caught.
They immediately they know it. Like, oh wow, why are you moving money?
Why is this much funds being moved here and
out of FTX's wallets?
Exactly.
And into Alameda's wallets.
But you know who else didn't catch that or said anything? The banks that they were working with.
Yeah.
The banks didn't give nothing, so I don't know what happened there.
So like here's one thing. Like when it comes to regulation, I think one thing that might be cool to see would be if you're a business that operates with currencies, maybe purposefully like dox yourself. Which wallet are you using? What's your wallet address? For businesses. I wouldn't recommend that for individuals. It's not a recommendation.
But you're right. But the thing when you do that is you put such a big target on those wallets.
What do you mean?
Well, on that person.
No, the wallet.
The thing is, that wallet address doesn't have a physical location. Even if they don't own it, the company may have to have a physical location to run, like depending on the company, an exchange or whatever. That's also very public information.
Yeah, so that would have to be confidential information. The access of that wallet, it would possibly be a multi-sig.
Yes. I'm just saying you're putting a target on the company and the people who work at that company.
I mean,
Depending on
To a
levels.
degree, yeah. There's a degree of that, correct. But that's the risk that comes with regulation and this old financial system.
I also don't think you're wrong. Doxing yourself on it.
Doxing yourself is like it's a simple way of like, oh, we operate on crypto. This is our crypto wallet. Like,
And then and then you can track the funds how they move.
oh, we're gonna be okay. If a company says that we're gonna be spending money on something, and we're paying it via crypto, look, we spent this much. Okay, you don't have to say what wallet you used, you sent it to, or who you're spending it with. But
If it's a private sale, no. Public
Exactly.
sale, yes.
Exactly.
It'll be, I think it should be treated very similarly. How we treat now public and private sales and stuff like that.
yeah, I don't know. The whole thing is pretty young. It's just underdeveloped. It needs more framework, more structure, more people out there like giving ideas.
Good ideas.
Good ideas, not
Yeah, because people give ideas, but then they give a half-baked idea. And they run with the half, and then people like running with the half-baked idea.
like one of the things are those bank issued coins. I always forget their names. They're
CBDCs?
CBDCs. That's one of like the forms of regulations that people are trying to go for. That some governments are trying.
What?
Like implementing CBDCs and getting rid of stable coins.
Yeah, I definitely think they're going to get rid of stable coins.
Because the things with stable coins, that looks like a.
But CBDC doesn't solve the problem.
No, CBDCs create new problems. The reason why stablecoins are problematic is because that they kind of like fall upon like this weird like, oh, you're creating false money, fake money, like another type of currency that's not really regulated.
Yeah, because it's back to typically is the company that is running it has to have one-to-one value with the amount of that's being minted and created.
Yeah,
which we don't know if they do or don't. That should be public like that information should be known.
Information should be known.
Like to the public, do you have enough valued assets to make it one-to-one? And in terms of value assets, it can be a house or a property. Because you can't sell it tomorrow and get the money needed.
It needs to be liquid.
It needs to be liquid.
Absolutely needs to be liquid.
Can't be collateral. It has to be like cash. Like it's literally how much cash is there in a bank account right now that you can move around.
Yeah. So the problem with stablecoins is that it interferes with like the Bank Secrecy Act and anti-tip-off statutes, where it's like there's essentially laws against the transference of unlicensed money, and that's what they're trying to like label
Stablecoins as? Unlicensed money?
Unlicensed money.
That's fair. Because we already have a law for it. I mean, as you said, it's a new space, so we're also...
Yeah, so like a lot of things just contradict a lot of like current... Like a lot of the blockchain tech contradicts what current regulations and...
Yeah, but that's why it was built. It was built because of the financial crash. Well, yeah. Bitcoin was built because of the financial crash. So the idea was always to make the old financial system that is obsolete to a degree.
Yeah, Bitcoin was made for...
And to answer that.
To fix problems with the current financial system.
I also think...
the old financial system. It's not current. It's not current.
It is current because it's currently what we have.
It's not current. I mean, the reason why I'm not going to say it's not current is because we have something better.
It's not better yet. It's not better yet.
It is better.
It's not better.
It's not implemented, but it is better.
It's not better yet.
Why not?
Why not? It's not better yet? Because it's not. You currently can't get a loan with Bitcoin. Go for it.
Yeah, you can.
There's a company. It's called collateral, but you have to collateralize your Bitcoin to have it. You always have to put up more. Our current system doesn't work like that. But because of the current system, we have the amount of innovation that we do because you're able to just borrow money. At no rate, you can't do that on Web3 yet. No. We haven't solved it.
That is true.
That's one way. That's a big aspect of the current financial system.
The being able to take out loans based off of like a credit system.
Yeah, you can't do that in Web3.
Not yet. You're right. You can't do that yet.
Yeah. very high quotation. Yeah, because it's gonna.
Yeah, I feel like that is something
you can solve that.
Uh-huh.
It just hasn't been solved.
It's definitely one of the problems. At least at the last Socratic seminar that I went to, they were talking about social scores.
That's terrible too.
Yeah, it is. It is. I mean, like credit scores. Like
no, I'm talking about specifically social.
Oh, okay. Oh no, I said social score, but I meant like credit score type.
Yeah, credit is also
like how credible are you?
The credit system we have also is like dog shit. Because it's like they want you to be borrowing money and using money to show that you're responsible, but you should just be like, oh, he's never messed up. Here's like, you're good. Versus, oh, you start messing up. Okay, we down, and down. You know what I mean? Like downgrade as you go. Like start with an A, get to the D.
Downgrade as you go. Start with an A, get to the D.
Like you start with an A plus. And then if you maybe you start doing bad, you go you get a lower score.
Lower score.
No.
Yeah. Well, these trying times that has been presented to us in 2022 will definitely pave the way for more movement in the legal space in the future, because people don't like getting the funds stolen from them.
You know what's funny?
What's funny?
About the funds being stolen. Moved, coerced. All on fiat.
It's all on fiat.
It was all with wire fraud.
It's all wire fraud. None of it was on the chain.
I'm sure there was probably a little bit, for sure. But
even then,
it's
not like the chain got compromised.
The chain, no. Also, you know, going back to FTX specifically in that situation, the assets that Alameda held though were also not solid assets. Like they hold, apart from FTT, they held Sol, but they held 10% of it, and Sol has such a small market cap
of the entire Solana market.
Exactly, that you can, if you can dip, you cannot sell that off. That's also part of the issue with all markets that we have. You cannot, if you own that much majority share of any one asset, you are gonna tank the market the second you sell that for anything. Like right now, like
when FTX goes and they filed bankruptcy. Whenever they have to like actually liquidate.
When we get to liquidations and how that's handled, which Jesus,
Sol market, get ready to buy that at a discount.
Sol. You just thought about that. Every other exchange that has gone bankrupt has assets. Yeah. Either in Sol, Bitcoin, ETH.
So we're not at the bottom?
No, they haven't liquidated anything yet.
They haven't liquidated.
That also depends on bankruptcy filings and how long that takes. 2 to 3 years is typical.
Yeah. So if it's back in the bull market.
Oh, you're gonna have a scary bull. You're gonna see a bull market that's gonna crash when everything liquidates. I also think they're trying not to do that.
No,
I don't think they're
not to liquidate.
I don't think liquidating is the answer. If you can literally just make assets whole, like give everyone the not asset value, the assets they had.
The thing is, they don't have the funds to buy the assets that they're supposed to have.
I understand that.
That's the issue.
I understand.
They spent it.
I'm not talking about all of them.
It's all the fiat,
dude. You're right.
It's literally what I told you when we first saw this coming out. You're like, I don't get it. There's a blockchain crypto company. How are they? I was like, it probably all happened off chain.
Well, I did say that, but also assumed that. Yeah. I also assumed that they faked the numbers in like their apps to show you the number after they moved it out, like a type of situation. They never bought it on chain.
Yeah, like they never actually bought the assets. They never actually bought the assets. At least I don't think they did. If not, they wouldn't be in this problem.
Or a different problem.
Yeah, they probably would have been in a completely different problem. But they weren't doing the one service that they said they were doing. They weren't doing it.
They were buying a house in the Bahamas.
They weren't doing it. They were buying banks in no sé dónde.
The banks? Dude, the Bahamas right now are so mad. Back to regulations. No, because it does talk about regulations. So, yes. Currently, they're filing bankruptcy under the U.S. because that's where they ran the majority of that side of the business, FTX. Because the FTX held and own properties, like 15 properties within the Bahamas that are worth like $100+ million.
And are you going to? Yeah.
The Bahamas wants those properties to be
They don't want it to be
sold
up for auction.
No, they want to take it back so they can take their 100 mil back.
Yeah, so they could get the asset.
So and they could sell it back off at full price.
I mean,
and
it's the same thing though.
What?
Essentially, that property has to be liquidated. The property has to be liquidated.
On auction, it goes for cents on the dollar.
I understand that.
Open market, it goes for dollar to dollar.
Kinda.
No.
Well, the thing is, how long is the Bahama government gonna have the asset on them?
It doesn't matter. It's in a hot market.
So they're just gonna put it for sale.
Yeah,
They're just gonna put it for a price.
So think about it like this.
Because they don't need it. Because they don't need to sell it.
Who doesn't need to sell it?
Okay. Let's say the Bahamas.
Let's specify though.
Yes.
They're in a hot market where these houses are worth millions of dollars already, and people already want to buy there. Like this is a market where there's not enough supply already standing, and people want to purchase.
I understand that.
No, I'm not making it
I understand that. Yeah.
Also, it's not for you; it's for the audience.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
You may understand it. I'm trying to make sure the audience gets to where my brain's at.
Make sure they follow. Oh, correct. Okay. Well, when the Bahama government, if they happen to get access to these, assuming
they get it out of the fork of the bankruptcy, give it back to the Bahamas.
Yes,
it's not going to happen.
Yeah,
but let's say it does.
Let's say that happens. The Bahamian government has to liquidate that asset unless
they just put it for sale.
They just put it for sale. Okay, they'll put it for sale, but like if they hold off with that property not being sold. Yeah, that's what I was like realizing. I was like, their government, they don't care.
Versus us, we have no interest in there.
Yeah,
and we would put it up to auction within an X amount of time frame, three days, go
liquidate it.
And people are gonna. And the idea there is when it's sold through there
at an auction, the deal is how low can you get the price.
Exactly. No one's going to bid high versus open market.
How much of a discount are you willing to accept?
Correct.
Like, oh, you're going down to 25% discount, but not 30? Nah, that's the rate.
Yeah, it's too high. Like,
that's too much. Yeah, that's too expensive.
And it also depends how people are willing to pay. I've never seen how those auctions work. Like,
they're typically online.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a website that they'll put up. You got to register probably like a week in advance, get cleared out, make sure you have the funds to be able to buy the property. And then whenever they open up the auction,
which there's multiple properties that are sold like that, like in seizures and stuff, like cars and all that, get sold for dirt cheap.
Yeah, I check out those websites every once in a while.
Dude, I want to check out the ones when they bust robberies for like high end stuff. See what you can get out of that. If it doesn't get returned and you just have to sell it.
Yeah, so it's not a robbery so much. You
know what I mean, like confiscating, not robbery. I said robbery just to throw a word out there.
Yeah, they'd have to they definitely seize those assets from probably like a list of stolen things. But it's difficult when it's too difficult for them to return it to the actual owner. Because if they know who it belongs to, then they'll just return it. But like when it comes to like watches or like purses and
it's more so
can't tell where that came from, so they auction that off.
Yeah, or it's also like when it's confiscated from the person who already owned it prior, like the example.
The person bought with illegal funds also.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they seize it, and then they resell it.
Which might happen to a lot of SBF stuff.
You got no idea.
Can we buy the
arena?
Does that go on auction too? It will go on auction. That will go on auction, but that's going to be on auction by the city of Miami.
It's not the city of Miami auctions that.
Yeah, it is.
The Heat auction that. The arena itself auctions that. Whoever owns the arena is the one who picks the name for it. It's not the city of Miami though. I don't know. Does the city of Miami own the arena?
Yes, that arena was paid for with taxpayer money.
Are you sure about this?
Yeah, it's owned by the city. The money the SBF, the FTX was paying for the naming rights was going towards like education and probably like
I'm not saying you're wrong. I just didn't know that.
And I think like home relief. That last one I don't know if that was accurate, but they definitely the city's the one that puts it up for auction, and then that money goes into like bettering the city. That's why I was paid. That's how they were able to pay with taxpayer money.
Holy shit! Miami-Dade County, which owns the arena and the neighbor the county negotiated a naming rights deal.
Yeah.
Oh shit! I didn't know that. Okay. Yeah. I take back my statements.
And then that goes into like they've got to put like branding onto the Heat jersey. I don't know what the relationship of the Heat.
It's fully integrated, mandatory.
Yeah. I don't know the logistics.
It's fully
of that,
integrated,
but
mandatory.
they're definitely like
they work hand in hand.
Yeah, planted there.
Okay, so that's gonna be a whole different
It's
thing.
gonna go up for auction for sure.
Yeah.
Again.
Back to regulations.
Back to regulation. Back to regulation.
We go.
So, the only thing that I saw that I found
a better way to continue that segment.
Sorry, continue. Go for it.
Yo, because I feel like we're gonna do that. How do you think you could have avoided the SBS situation?
Avoided a SBF situation?
Yes.
Like,
what the collapse of FTX, everything that just happened.
Mm-hmm.
What regulations could have been implemented to not have it,
Mm-hmm.
like not have the shit show that was done behind the scenes happen?
Well,
For like
what CZ said.
what does CZ say?
Proof of reserves.
I think that's part of it.
That's not part of it, but that's a good place to start.
Oh, I'm saying that's part of it. I'm saying that's part of the way to solve it. So you think exchanges have to have like a proof of reserves?
Yeah, something on their website, like maybe on the front page of the website, a list of all the assets that they're currently holding. They gotta dox themselves.
So full on doxing.
Full on doxing.
Everybody, like any exchanges,
any exchange that's working as a business, like
a full on exchange.
That is custodial.
A centralized
exchange has to be fully doxed.
Has to be fully doxed.
What wallets are holding what, and how much are you holding?
So, question: Binance is not a U.S. regulated company, so they can't
operate. You can't trade in American soil. In like America.
Do you have Binance here?
No, we don't have Binance
because of that. They don't play with any of our regulations, right?
Yeah. So essentially, if you try to go to Binance.com, it'll show you a US based website, but you won't be able to. You can't
access the exchange.
You can't become a client of Binance.
Got you. Okay.
Unless you have a VPN, but then at that point, that
you're breaking the rule to get into it.
Yeah,
not
exactly.
the rule, but you know what I mean.
You're just choosing not to follow the regulation, American regulation.
Gotcha. Same thing that was happening with FTX US. We weren't.
Exactly.
I mean, international. We weren't able to use it. That's why he came out of the US side.
Exactly. That was compliant with the US regulations. Somewhat. Yeah. Compliant to
the best degree.
To the best of their, I guess, not running out legally.
Not completely. So definitely. So you think doxing is the one answer?
I think it's the best. I think it's the one thing that we could do that could probably get the most problems solved. I don't think it'll be end all,
but solves an issue.
It'll solve the big chunk of the issue.
Okay, Coinbase. Should it have to dox itself if it's a publicly traded company that's audited, like the way Coinbase is right now? Do you think it should be doxed?
Probably, yeah. Yeah, I don't see why it shouldn't be. Unless they're like there's some, I don't even know. I just don't see any reason for them not to dox themselves. I'm sure that they're publicly traded and very heavily regulated, but there should be.
Well, I'm not saying that. I'm saying it because the difference between FTX2 and Coinbase, FTX, Crack, and all these are privately owned.
Oh, I see.
Coinbase is a publicly traded company. Exactly. So their information are behind the scenes.
I don't know, essentially, because I don't know the full extent of what these publicly traded companies.
They have to report. They have quarterly reports.
But then also
public to everybody.
Internal,
shareholders.
There has to be some type of internal processes that have to be in place.
Yes,
that I just don't know about, and I don't know if those are sufficient enough to have to avoid
a doxing.
The doxing, yeah,
fair enough. So definitely doxing.
Doxing for private companies.
Privately held, mandatory.
Dox. You have to dox because those aren't your funds, and if there's a way to make those funds public to the rest of the people, you have to see what your liabilities are. That's literally avoids the whole Bernie Madoff Ponzi scheme shit.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, I have funds for you, but he wasn't giving you your funds; he was giving you the money of someone else.
Definitely,
and then that's what the issue is. Everyone starts cashing out, and then
everyone cashes out. There's no money.
Tumbles.
Well, that's the issue. That's why I keep on saying. I said this last podcast. Maybe I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Whatever. I said I don't think they did it the collapse of it. They didn't want it to collapse. I also don't think they wanted to lose users' funds. I think the issue I see with them was they just want to gamble.
They were gambling. They were spending other people's money on ventures that might have been very lucrative had they succeeded, but it wasn't their money to be spending.
You're right. I think what I'm thinking is I think they just want to keep on gambling. I don't think they wanted to make more money. I just think they want to keep on seeing if they could make more money, type of an earner deal. Versus, I think Bernie just wanted profit.
Yeah, Bernie was playing profits.
I'm not saying these people didn't take profits.
No, they absolutely did.
100,000%. They stole a bunch of scumbags.
They're a bunch of degenerates.
Degenerates.
They're a bunch of degenerates.
But I think their main thing was, we could keep on gambling for free. And I think that's what really made the downfall. That's part of the reason why I think they lost.
This is one of the wildest things I've ever seen.
All on fiat.
It's all on fiat. I had a friend tell me one time. I had breakfast with him last month. He's like, this FTX thing really has a bad look on Bitcoin and crypto. I mean, I was like, it does, but it's not because it actually has a bad look. It's just people have a bad understanding of what's going on.
Yeah.
If people understood what's going on, then they totally understand that crypto is not the problem.
Yeah.
It's a bad entity working maliciously, incorrectly,
Correct.
out of regulations and compliant, doing illegal activity. Oh man, that's unfortunate.
Sucks.
It is what it is. It is what it is. We learn, we educate, and we keep it moving.
Also, I think part of something they have to do is, if, for an example, if customers want to hold specific assets, it should be immediately, you should be able to follow it on chain. There should be an on chain thing being related to you saying, you have Coinbase.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Because
I see where you're coming with this, but there's an issue with that.
What's the issue?
If let's say you go onto Coinbase and you purchase $100 worth of Bitcoin. Coinbase, its platform will simply say you have $100 worth of Bitcoin, or it will assign you an X amount of Bitcoin, because they're buying it at whatever the market price is for that moment. They won't actually move any Bitcoin though. They'll have Bitcoin either in one of their cold store. They're gonna have their own private ledger.
I see. I know what you're saying.
So there won't be any chain movement. That will.
I got you.
It's doable, but then there's the whole logistics issue of, okay, we gotta generate keys. Where do we store these keys?
I see. No, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I see. So I think it also goes back to I think an exchange also should not be allowed to store assets.
A central exchange?
Centralized exchange.
Store assets?
Because that's part of the thing.
That's what custodial wallets are.
We're not about custodial wallet. An exchange shouldn't be a custodial wallet.
So you're saying exchanges and custodial wallets should be two different things?
I think so.
Okay. That's an interesting take. Makes sense. Continue.
Reason why?
Yeah.
Okay. The entire purpose of it is, if the goal here is to move assets, use it. If you keep it on an exchange, you should only be really keeping it there unless you're day trading it, right? That's why you keep it. I think an exchange should have it set up to where if you're just buying to buy, you shouldn't be stored. You should move it out, because if not, it props up their balance sheet. They have more assets that's not theirs. The whole thing, liabilities and reserve.
Yeah. They start working with bigger and bigger numbers.
So essentially,
their operational expenses are much smaller, and their assets that they own are. Well, they don't own. Those are liabilities.
Yeah, they don't own it.
Those are liabilities.
But the thing is, you're able to take out loans at that value.
Mm-hmm.
So if we keep our assets there, you're propping up that exchange to be able to buy at a higher, be able to borrow US dollars or whatever, whoever is able to lend it to them, because of that propped up value that they're holding.
I see.
To me, it looks more. It's a very inflated number for the company.
But yeah, it just inflates the numbers of the company. So I got a question. In terms of liabilities and assets, how does that work? In a balance sheet, what's the difference between them? Because you could have an asset that you have on you, but that's not necessarily an asset, because it's something that you could lose. There's a risk associated to owning that.
That doesn't matter.
Okay.
That's a different terms of liability. An asset is anything that has a value that is sustained, or that you can sell at a later moment, or just holds its value essentially. Cash is an asset,
But a liability
is something that you have to be paying for, or something that has a maintenance requirement.
At the end of the day, it doesn't belong in your pocket.
So a loan is a liability. Why? Because it's not yours. You have to pay another agency entity for it.
So if you take out a loan of, like, let's say $5,000, you get on your balance sheet, you'd write that you have a liability of $5,000, but then also in your assets, or like in your income, you'd be like, oh, you've received $5,000.
Yes.
So just be a balance sheet. Really, you do really have to keep a balance sheet balanced, don't you?
Yeah. The entire thing of a balance sheet is to be balanced. It's just to keep track of how many assets do you have, and can you afford the liabilities that you're having. Liabilities are just anything responsibilities that you have towards something else that has to be covered. That's why it has to be. You have a income statements of income and stuff like that, and everything else to keep it, as we said, balanced.
I see.
But that's why, like, they're saying the proof of reserves is assets they do own versus how many liabilities, how much they owe to the customers.
Yeah. So like the doxing is only for their liabilities.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what they owe. What they own on, like, company end, like whatever profits they made, I don't care about that. I just want to know if me as a client, let's say,
can I pull out my funds?
Can I pull out my funds? Or can everyone pull out their funds and no one get that's really the main thing. Can everyone pull out their funds and no one get messed up?
So this is why I was saying, like, I don't like it together, because right now most exchanges
have all that stuff together.
What do you mean? Oh yeah, they have it together. What I'm saying is,
you mean like the exchanges and
custodial
wallets.
That when I see that is, assume you have 1,000 Bitcoin, but it's owned by 1,000 different one Bitcoin a person. That company though has control of 1,000 Bitcoin. Whatever that price is, that's their price to play with. If right now you only have 1,001, the minute these 1,000 people pull out their funds, that company only has one Bitcoin. What's the real value? If their real value now is one Bitcoin,
it's just the one. It should be one.
It should be. It is the one. It's only the one.
Yeah.
So what's the company's value?
1,001.
It's not, though, because that's not theirs.
Yeah, I know.
So I think if that isn't the case, it should not be made to be theirs.
Yeah. So essentially, there's too much intermingling.
Yeah.
Like for protection of the nature of the business, for the protection of the clients, those two services cannot go together.
Or not even go together. If they do go together, great. It doesn't count on your balance sheet. To you be able to use for you to be able to. This is a reserve meant for X. People are only meant to do this. This doesn't count for you.
It's a separate balance sheet.
Yeah.
Like you should have a balance sheet for your exchange and a balance sheet for your wallet.
Yeah.
Because what I'm thinking is, like, okay, so then if that's the case, and there would have to be a whole different service of cold storage, custodial wallets, where you pay like maybe a one-time fee or a management fee for someone holding those. I
think for trading, if you want to trade, that is part of the company's assets now. Like, it should be. That's cool, because you have to be able to move the assets freely, and then you can just, if you want to move it goes to a storage. Separate. It's no longer meant for the company. It's meant for the individual who wants to pull it out. You're also trying to get rid of the fact of they're able to borrow against your funds, like on exchanges.
That's the main issue that we saw with FTX. That they were borrowing your funds.
They were lending out your funds, unless and especially they were saying they weren't going to be doing that. Like for Celsius, when you have your assets there, it was always said that it was never yours. Why? Because they were using those funds to try to generate more. Yeah. With yours, unless you're doing that wittingly. Yeah. It's a different story. I'm saying it should be very clear what you're doing.
Users of Celsius, when you should know that was a risk that you're taking.
For an example, yeah.
Users of FTX. assume that risk did not apply to them.
It did not apply, but
Because it didn't. It didn't.
it shouldn't have.
It shouldn't have.
They should. What occurred there was they were stealing.
They were stealing.
If it was
they broke their terms and conditions.
Exactly. If they wouldn't have,
That's a lawsuit. That's criminal behavior. Oh my god, I get hot. It
is criminal behavior. They're criminals.
They're criminal. There's criminal behavior.
What you mean?
No matter how you cut it, that guy.
Yeah, no. Just because I'm saying he didn't want to lose, I'm not saying they're not criminals.
Yeah.
I'm just saying they want to keep on gambling.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if you really separate those, like separate it within corporations, you deflate bullshit balance sheets, which is bullshit, and you protect customers. I mean, like your assets are not moved. Why? Because it's in this specific situation. Mm-hmm. I will not be borrowing it, and the company that offers that has to find another way to make profits.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You for storing it there, you gotta charge a security fee,
or you do what the purpose is. You put it on Meta. You put it in your own.
But the thing is, people are afraid of losing their own keys. People are afraid of being responsible for their stuff.
Then William, will say you shouldn't be playing in Web3.
Web3 is good. I'm okay. Like, I understand where you're coming from. That's kind of like a very Bitcoin maximalist.
It's not Bitcoin maxi. No, because I think you lose the essence of risk when you allow someone else to keep track of it, when the space is designed for you to have ownership. The entire Web3 thing, in my opinion, is digital
I understand
ownership.
that. I get that, yeah. It's digital ownership, removing the third party from the transaction so that you could get things at a true affordable prices.
Exactly. So,
true prices.
I think you start off with a wallet. You get your wallet. You set that up.
Correct.
And then you learn.
That's golden world.
Right.
That's what I think. I agree. I'm on that same platform. However, the majority of the people are not comfortable with that, and I don't think we will see people as comfortable with that for another 10 years. As in these older people. I mean, we're pretty young people. So
yeah,
anyone who's like triple our age definitely will not be comfortable with.
Yeah, but people, that's already had that. Sadly,
and there's a lot of them.
That just goes away.
The same
would happen with cash.
It will go away, but that's what I'm saying. There needs to be right now a service that gets people kind of like more interested.
I think it's
like willing to take the step, because the guy that I told you who's like, oh, Bitcoin crypto has a very bad look right now, he's our age and he's super risk averse. Like anything that's risky, he'll stay away from it.
Yeah, but he's not gonna play in the stock market either.
No, he does play in the stock market, but he doesn't. Actually, no, he doesn't play. It's what's it called?
401k.
401k.
That doesn't count.
Yeah.
Actually,
S&P 500 predefined.
Yeah, he's buying risk averse. Yeah, but he's buying the safest thing he can buy.
It's risk averse. Yeah.
The people who are risk averse are always gonna be risk averse. I think.
And this is the option for someone who's risk averse to get into something that's genuinely better for them.
I see what you're saying, but then you lose. I think you get away from.
You do cut away from the true essence of what Web3 is supposed to be.
Not just that, you leave things unless you're paying a fee. You leave things to happen how they happen. You leaving money on exchanges that you can't trust to back it up.
No, I agree with you that there should be a separation of custodial wallets and exchanges. I agree with that. But what I was getting at was like, if you provide that as a separate service, you would have to charge for the security fee. Because that is work.
So yeah, there has to be a way to cover it.
That is work.
No, I'm agreeing with you. But then I goes to you're right. Yeah. But I also think exchanges or anything that's Web3 should also be explaining the proper ways, not even the proper ways, basics. Like, what are purposes of like a wallet? The purpose of a wallet is to store your assets or XYZ.
Coinbase does it.
Yeah?
Yeah, well, Coinbase has like a whole section of like just education.
Yeah, I've seen that.
The majority of it is sponsored by different cryptos, and like, go through this course and you'll earn like $1 of value.
But that's different. That's understanding that. I'm saying
it
should just explain the bare bones. Why you want a wallet, why you want this, done.
I mean, that's what we're doing here, but
that's what I'm trying to do. I just want people to understand the very simplest thing. People who lost funds is because FTX said it was not going to be touched with. He's a liar. That's a different story.
That's a different story. Yeah,
That's a different story.
You got frauded. Like,
but if you look at Celsius, the others, it's like you lost people's assets because you used it, you made bad plays, and then you couldn't afford to pay it back. But also, you never adjusted for it.
Yeah,
if that occurred,
that's bad business management, like risk management, is what happened with Celsius.
Yeah,
just bad risk management. I mean, FTX had bad risk management.
No,
also.
FTX had no.
Yeah, they had none of that.
They had none. They just lost, and they'll be like, "Can I take another milli?"
Yeah, and
they'll be like, "Another one? I'll give you 2 just in case."
Yeah, FTX and Alameda, because they're just that was a whole.
Yeah,
that was a whole. Yeah,
Alameda will be like, "We lost 12. Can I get another 10?" And FTX will be like, "Here's 50."
Yeah.
I got you.
That's just because of the specific situation that they found themselves in.
That's a different
But
one.
Celsius, they took risky loans. They lent out their money in risky plays, and probably over collateralized also.
No, they are also over collateralized.
Mm-hmm.
But why do they get over collateralized? Because they're able to borrow against users' assets.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm saying you have to get rid of the user aspect so they cannot use users' funds.
But they knew what. And
Celsius, yes. Celsius. I'm not saying Celsius.
Yeah, at that point, it's like, oh, what's the process that they're going to be doing for their trades? That they follow those processes? Like, there is like, is Celsius a reliable trader?
Yeah,
you're investing into a trader as a client of Celsius.
Mm-hmm. You're right. You're right. For Celsius, it is different than the other situation. I think regulations will get clearer. I think we need to identify what is securities, what is not security, what is a commodity, how we're going to identify as NFTs, how much effort is taken to like create those things, like on the terms of how much does it cost me to set up. If I want to make an X NFT product for X amount, like for something very basic, is it going to cost me the same amount as a $100 million company would to set up a much more complex use for it?
Mm-hmm. Like the paperwork.
Yeah, the paperwork. Like, I don't think an NFT selling a house should require the same amount of paperwork to the NFT selling a wallet. Like, ownership that shows ownership of a wallet.
An NFT that shows ownership.
Like a receipt, my dude.
Okay.
A receipt. Like using an NFT as a receipt in this specific example should not hold the same amount of paperwork as.
Or maybe like an NFT selling as a ticket versus a house.
Yes,
a ticket.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a better example. Thank you.
Yeah.
This is you're the brains.
It's just the wallet thing kind of confused me for a second. I was like, what?
I saw you confused. I'm like, I can see why he got confused.
Yeah. No.
But yeah, a ticket.
Yeah, a ticket versus
a concert ticket versus a house
or ownership of a company.
Exactly. That should take extremely different paperwork.
Yeah, all three of them.
Yes. So they should all be priced at 3 different levels.
Like a ticket should be pretty straightforward.
Exactly. A house should be more intermediate.
Like not this even. Guy says I could go watch him play music with showing him this picture.
Yeah, this should be X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
A house should be A, B, C, D, E, F, G type of.
Yeah.
And then selling a company should be absorbent.
A through Z.
A through Z and maybe an extra A through Z.
A through H. No. The A through Z times A through Z and then alphanumeric would be in deciding the next president.
Yes.
Because that's also chainable.
Yes. So I think like that's part of it.
Yeah.
Really understanding and labeling the complexities necessary for those. Because it's not equal. And it'll never be equal.
No, it won't be equal ever.
So it's really waiting on that. I think there's going to be a lot of crypto regulations coming though.
Absolutely. 2023 is primed for that.
A stupid amount.
And a lot of investigations. A lot of reviews of
PBD
everything.
said, Patrick Bet-David, for those who don't know, said it's the year 2023 is a year of investigations.
The year of investigations.
I heard that and I was like, that's funny.
Just everyone's getting investigated.
Dude, wild.
Celsius.
Oh,
BlockFi.
You're just talking about those. I mean, he meant everybody.
FTX.
He was talking about like political things as well.
Hunter Biden.
He was talking about Hunter Biden, Trump.
J Powell.
What happened with J Powell?
Nothing yet.
Nah, that's the guy, man. That's like the most powerful man in the world.
J Powell. I don't know.
J Powell's like a real president.
I don't feel. Yeah. I don't feel like he has any malicious intent. I just feel like he's.
Dog, he's dealing with.
He probably wants to shoot himself right now.
Alex, do you want to be J Powell's? Do you want to have J Powell's job?
I would not want J Powell's job.
I wouldn't either.
I would not.
I'm glad J Powell's doing his job.
I'm glad he's doing it. Like that guy's been there. I've been knowing that guy's been there for like the past 2 years, and I'm like, he's been on my radar ever since. Ever since I learned the name Jay Powell and chairman of the SEC.
Unless the person you talk to says they're willing to do the job that Jay Powell's doing, doesn't matter. And yes, he's been there for a minute.
Yeah.
The other person who's really high up there is
I said that wrong. I said president of the SEC, Federal Reserve.
I was gonna let slide by, dog. You're good. I was gonna let someone else find out. President of the Fed.
Yeah, the Fed.
Yeah. He controls the printers.
He controls the printers. He makes them go work overtime.
He makes them go brr.
All right. Well.
Oh, by the way, this podcast is not recorded on the regular Tuesday. This is a Saturday.
This is a Saturday recording.
We gotta get some stuff in the bank.
We gotta get one in the bank. 2 in the bank.
It's not really in the bank.
It's just pre-record.
Well, early record. Because as everyone knows, holidays are coming up.
Yeah.
Happy holidays to everybody.
We're still posting it.
We're not taking a break.
We're not taking no breaks. We're putting in that overtime.
Yeah. And exciting things should be coming 2023.
2023 is going to be a good year. It's going to be we are building in the bull market, William.
What?
We're building in the bull market.
Bear market.
Bear market, my bad. Correct. We're building in the bear market.
Correct. We are building in the bear market.
Building in the bear market. And then we'll continue building in the bull market too.
We'll take profits in the bull market.
We're going to take profits.
Oh my God. But regulations are going to be fun.
Are they?
Yeah.
Good regulations are going to be fun.
And bad ones we'll find a workaround.
CDCC? What's it called? Not
what?
CDC.
CBDCs.
CBDCs.
We don't want those.
I gotta get that ingrained in my.
We don't want a CBD. We don't want.
Stay away from those. Those would be the fall of humanity.
The only reason we don't want those because they already have enough.
You don't
power
want the rich to get richer. Stay away from CBDCs.
Right. Unless it's publicly on chain.
It is going to be publicly on chain.
But who's going to run the node for that?
The government.
That don't count.
That's it.
That don't count.
That's it. That's the only.
I don't want no government running the node.
That's the only one running the node.
You know what I just thought of? Do you think
if the government can want to freeze your accounts? Yep, frozen. That's it.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, you don't want to pay the government taxes? Too bad. Take it. Reverse a transaction? We got you.
But wait a minute. I have a question now. If, for example, let's say U.S. comes out CBDC, U.S. digital dollar. Mm-hmm. Can I just move it to my wallet, my other wallet?
It's you could hold it wherever, but it's where the transaction's taking place. The blockchain is going to be the CBDC's blockchain.
Yeah,
Where's the transaction being recorded?
But won't you
the location of the
I see what you're saying.
The location of the asset doesn't matter. It's where's the transaction being recorded.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, they're going to be able to...
if the transaction can be recorded on a network completely...
I understood. It could be censored. The transaction could be censored from being executed every time you go to use it.
No matter what wallet you send it to.
Yeah, my fault.
Yeah. No, I'm verbalizing this for the
you wouldn't... So, yeah, because you also wouldn't be able to set on the DEX.
Unlikely.
Because it would be canceled.
Yeah, very likely to not be able to the DEX.
So, yes, you're right. But that means it would be a proof of stake mechanism.
There might be zero mechanism.
What?
There might be zero mechanism.
No.
The consensus mechanism would be like until someone says no.
Then how in the name are they going to be able to handle the amount of usage? Because currently we have banks that do the handling.
That's actually a fair question. Like, can they do it? Unlikely.
Because
you're gonna need processing power.
Exactly.
It'd be a proof of work.
How much power is gonna be necessary to power that?
No, it doesn't matter. It just depends on how big the block sizes are. If they make smaller block sizes, then it doesn't matter. I don't know. Like, it's not gonna work. I know that much. It's not gonna work.
I don't think it's gonna work either. If I'm honest with you,
it's not gonna work. They could try to implement it.
It took a man to disappear to get Bitcoin to work.
The guy never appeared.
No, I meant, but he was communicating. Then he disappeared.
Oh yeah. No, he had very little like influence. Like, he just said, he just dropped some stuff on a forum, started mining, and then released some last bit of information. Was like, that's it, I'm out of here.
Yeah, but I'm saying he communicated.
Mm-hmm, yeah,
a little bit, but he had some communications, and then he went MIA. Mm-hmm. But it took him going MIA and giving up to the people to be like, doof.
Yeah,
type of a situation. I don't know. Interesting. Time.
106.
Damn, we're getting good at this.
We're getting good.
Even though sometimes I think we talk trash, like there's nothing valuable, we're getting good at going length.
Going length.
We're getting better.
Yeah.
Next pod should be fun.
Next one should be fun. It
So
should be
recap?
fun. Little recap.
A little recap of everything.
Yeah.
Might be long.
A little long.
It might be a little longer because that one is just a lot of trash talking at that point.
A lot of trash talking.
There may be drinks. There may not be drinks.
Maybe drinks.
I don't know.
It's a Tuesday.
Yeah, but Alex, it's Tuesday before Christmas.
It's Tuesday before Christmas. That's true. That is true.
It's Christmas week.
Everyone's gonna be checked out. Everyone's
mean-
gonna be checked out already. Damn, that's already next week. Oh my god.
Yeah, and this guy's gonna be gone.
Yeah. Wiping myself off this planet.
He did. So if you see bad work, just know it's because Alex didn't check my work.
What? I will always check your work.
Jokes. But yeah, anything we haven't covered?
No.
Oh, I said it. Rate hike
Rate hike.
happened
Uh-huh.
this week that just passed. 50 basis points. Market went down as expected.
As expected. My dad asked me like 2 or 3 days in a row. He's like, "Por fin, did they increase interest rates?" I was like, "Yes."
Yeah.
50 basis points.
Everyone, I'm gonna tell you right now. You're gonna get the scoop.
They're doing it again in February.
They're gonna do it again. Yeah.
They're doing it again.
Minimum 1 quarter, and I think it's not gonna be a quarter. I'm gonna get the prediction now.
Another 50 basis points?
Yes.
They're not going back up. I doubt it.
I don't think they'll go back up yet. I'm gonna say 50. I'm agreeing with you. They'll do 50. Depending how much movement has happened to the next one
For the first fiscal quarter?
for the second fiscal quarter. For the first, yeah, they'll check out first fiscal quarter, what effect it had. For the second one, if it didn't do enough, they'll re-raise it to 75.
Oh, really?
I think so.
Oh, man.
I do think so. We're not in a recession. We've been in one. It only gets uglier.
It's on these
It's gonna only get a little uglier.
rate hikes. I mean, okay, in the long grand scheme of things, we're still pretty low on overall interest rates.
What?
Like 30 years?
We're the highest we've ever been.
70 years, my bad.
Yes.
30 years, we are pretty high.
Yes.
But 70 years?
Yes.
What was it when you said that they were like at 30%?
They were never at 30, but there was 10%, 15%, 19%. Maybe I did say 30. Maybe there was a 30.
There was a 30.
Maybe.
It was a while ago, but it wasn't even 100 years ago.
1960. No, 1970s? 1960s.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. There was high interest rates. Like
30%.
15%. There was. We're going to do a quick Google search.
No, it's time to
We're
do the quick search. Do the quick search. Yeah, because I was like 4.5% or whatever percentage we're at now. I don't even know. But below 5% is still pretty low in the last like 70 years. Correct. In the last 20 years, it's been high. Like this is really high.
1969.
69.
Yeah, it was 10 year average yield 8.21. It was 10 and a half.
10 and a half.
I'm pulling up the chart now. Give me 2 seconds.
Yeah.
We gotta sometimes have good information. So it did not reach 30, Alex. It reached 20%. 1980s.
1980s.
I'll tell you exactly. It was at 19% on May 18th, 1981. Right now, dude, you know what the problem is, dog? We had no rates for so long.
Yeah. We went like almost a decade.
This is crazy.
We went almost a whole decade.
Look at this chart. I'm gonna show 2023. You guys will see charts.
You guys will see charts.
When we pull them up. But look at that chart.
Oh my god, that's a flat line. 20.
Look at the 80s, which is the between the peak. Which is
peak. That looks like.
Guys, I think we got this. And I spanked the microphone.
How bad was the economy in 2008?
This guy.
2007, 2008, because that looks like where we're going. Is there any? There's no information before 1960, 1950.
I don't think it was kept.
Damn, that would have been good information to have.
I don't think it was kept. We just kept.
Because that looks like 1950 on that chart looks like it's more or less where we were at or earlier this decade.
19. Yes.
Like when it's close to the bottom.
Oh, at a quarter.
Yeah.
In 1954. I think monetary policy was also young.
You think we're gonna reach 20% anytime soon?
God dang. PBD didn't say that. PBD's prediction was like you're gonna see 10%, double digits for sure.
Oh yeah.
He said 10. He said you're gonna see 10% rates.
And we have 4.5.
Well, no, I don't know where we are right now. I didn't yes, we are at 3 something, so we should be at 4.25. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the original height, the original rate that they wanted to get to. The new rate is like 5 point something.
Yeah, because I mean they're just trying to get inflation down to 2%.
The thing is, we keep on printing money.
Yeah, if you keep on printing money, you can't get inflation anywhere.
But right now,
oh boy,
October 31st, 2022, last it was registered on this chart was.
All I know is I'm gonna have to work for the remainder of my 20s.
Why?
Why? Because this money's got to come in, dog. Money's got to come in.
No idea.
Well, thank you. What?
You're gonna say thank you for listening?
Yeah.
Not yet. Though.
Not yet. What's up?
Follow us on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
If listeners,
yeah,
the 2 people who listen,
the 20 people who listen,
depending on the day of the week. Yeah,
depending on the day of the week. I was gonna say thank you for listening. Go and follow us on Instagram.
Oh, that's how you're gonna do it.
Yeah, that's how
I'm more abrupt. I like butchering them in the face. Like, hey,
go do this.
Go do this.
I want to give them my gratitude.
They get a thank you.
Yeah, they get a thank you.
And they get hopefully
some good content. If you get some good content if you follow us on Instagram. That much I know.
We try to provide good content.
YouTube, like there's more stuff on our Instagram that you don't see here on the pod.
Yeah, like we like posting just informational stuff, things that are interesting to us.
Yeah.
And watch 2023. It will get more exciting.
I think I might just start retweeting and tweeting random stuff on Twitter.
But you gotta start tweeting stuff.
Yeah.
We gotta start tweeting stuff.
Yeah.
We're on Twitter, we're gonna start tweeting on Twitter.
Yeah, we're gonna start tweeting on Twitter. Use it for what it's meant to be used for. Tweets.
We're gonna get better.
We're gonna tweet some tweets.
Tweet some Twitters?
Tweet some tweet some Twitters.
Yeah.
All right, well.
It's been another week of your favorite podcast.
Crypto podcast.
For sure.
Sometimes crypto.
The Unscripted Crypto Podcast.
Ayo.
Ayo.